Thanksgiving football week is here, and that means my predictions are here just a little bit early because I want to get you prepped for everything this Thanksgiving week. I hope that you have a wonderful time with you and yours. Thanksgiving is, of course, my favorite holiday. Tons of food, fatting out on a couch, 3 football games. What more could somebody ask for? Week 13 picks. Let's hop into it. All right, so since it's the first week in a while without any buys, I couldn't fit on the graphic, so we're going to do the ESPN screen share where you guys could see the stats, the ESPN matchup predictor, yada yada. Here is the full schedule for the Thanksgiving week. I'm going to throw it up on the screen. Obviously, as you see, we got the 3 Thanksgiving games, we got the Black Friday game, and then we got a pretty good Sunday slate. Sunday Night Football is Niners Bills, we got Eagles Ravens we're going to get into, Broncos Browns on Monday Night Football. We're going to talk about it all, but those are the games. Now, let us start with Chicago Bears. 4-7 Bears taking on the Detroit Lions, 10-1 to open up Turkey Day, to open up Thanksgiving. When the little kiddos got the parade on and this game's about to kick off, you say, no more parade. Let's watch Bears Lions. Caleb Williams, I thought last week played his best game as a pro. They ultimately didn't win the game, but again, I talked about this in the tier list video yesterday. If you didn't check that out, plug. But the Bears are no longer focused on wins and losses. The record don't matter. And the point is getting Caleb as many snaps as possible, getting Caleb to improve as much for the next year and the next head coach. I think Caleb looked great last week. I think he'll continue to look good this week, but ultimately Detroit is just too damn good right now. And the pressure is on them to continue to play great football. They're 10-1 right now as we head into week 13 and could potentially be the 5 seed come playoffs because Minnesota's right up their ass at 9-2 and then Green Bay's right there at 8-3. Like, the NFC North is fucking loaded, and Detroit has to continue to win each and every game when there's a talent discrepancy as big as there is between themselves and the Bears. They're at home, short week. Usually talent wins out. Now, short weeks can be a little funky from time to time, and Caleb's definitely talented, so I'm not completely writing off the Bears in this one, but give me Detroit to win this game. Something of the score, we'll call it 31-20. I think the Lions get it done. Some are calling this the Thanksgiving nap game as the New York Giants, 2-9, travel to Dallas, Jerry's World, to take on the Cowboys at 4-7. The Cowboys 0-5 at home this season. Kentucky Cutlets make it 0-6. Cooper Rush, he's kind of started to figure it out the last couple weeks for Dallas, getting more to what he was a couple seasons ago where he led them to that 4-1 record in Dak's absence. The defense showing stronger, showing face. Micah Parsons having a big game. Dallas coming off of the upset victory over the Commanders, whereas the Giants absolutely got routed at home by Baker and the Bucks. And the big difference between these two teams to me is it feels like the New York Giants have fully quit, right? The players feel like they quit. You see the quotes coming out from Neighbors and Burns just about how the team's not in a good state. They're kind of soft, yada, yada. Whereas the Dallas Cowboys, you could clearly see that there's fight left in this team. Obviously, that was shown by the win over Washington. Micah, CD, Dowdle, Kavonta Turpin, like all making some pretty good plays in that game. They're 0-5 at home this year. Jerry Jones recently came out and said that there's a world where Mike McCarthy comes back next year. I think that was kind of to make sure his team continues to fight and continues to play. Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones doesn't want to be embarrassed at home on Thanksgiving by Tommy DeVito. Like, the Cowboys are going to be up for this game, and for that reason, I'm taking the Cowboys to win this game. I think we see a sneaky defensive touchdown, whether that's like a Trayvon Diggs pick 6 or a Micah Parsons strip sack fumble. That's my weird little Thanksgiving Day call, defensive touchdown, but Micah Parsons is going to have that turkey leg. The Cowboys are going to win this game 28-13. Book it. We got the Miami Dolphins versus the Green Bay Packers to close out Thanksgiving night. It'll be a chilly one. It'll be a brisk night in Green Bay, Wisconsin, as the Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa travel to Lambeau? Can Tua play in the cold? Can Tua beat a good team? This is the time, right? They're 5-6. Tua missed some time this year, obviously, with the concussion, but the past couple of weeks, he's been playing really good football with weapons like Achan, Waddle, Jonnu Smith. Tyreek Hill hasn't been going, but, it's Tyreek Hill. He can always get going. And like I mentioned earlier about the NFC North, the pressure is on Green Bay to win each and every single week if you want to be competitive in that division. 3 losses right now has them in 3rd place. They're 8-3. They would be leading multiple other divisions in the NFL, and they are in 3rd in the NFC North. That's how competitive it is at home. Thanksgiving Day, short week, cold weather favors you. They're going to get the run game going. Josh Jacobs is going to eat. Give me the Packers. Go Pack, go to pack up Tua's bags, send them back to Miami, and Tua and Mike McDaniel, they're going to be chilly out there. They're going to be wishing they could get back to Miami. Give me the Packers to win this game. I think they pour it on 34-17. Book it. The Black Friday game. Vegas Raiders 2-9. Kansas City Chiefs 10-1. Somehow, some way, this will be a 3 to 7 point game because the Chiefs continue to play in close games and they continue to win them pretty much each and every single time. They lost to Buffalo, but Gardner Minshew likely out for this game. Should be Aiden O'Connell in. If not Aiden O'Connell, it'll be Desmond Ridder. So one of those two up against Patrick Mahomes. I think you guys know where I'm leaning on this game. I do think the Chiefs win this game. The Raiders did upset the Chiefs last year. And that was the Christmas Day game. That was a really interesting one. You had Jack Jones with the pick 6, the Grinch move, give the ball to the 10-year-old in the crowd was just absolutely menace stuff. I don't think this one's close. If you guys remember this offseason, and I know I said that I think that, this game will somehow be 3 to 7 because that's just what the Chiefs do. I kind of think there's a little extra motivation, a little extra giddy up for the Chiefs in this game. In the offseason, do you remember when the Raiders were doing the stuff with the Kermit the Frog doll, making fun of Patrick Mahomes? I don't think it's going to land well. I think Mahomes has a big day on Black Friday. I think he torches that defense. I don't think the Raiders offense can get anything moving. I think the Kansas City Chiefs actually have a pretty dominant victory. Now it's over the 2-9 Raiders, so are people going to give it a ton of credit? Probably not. But give me the Chiefs to win this game 30-10. I don't know how the Raiders are going to put up points on the Chiefs defense. It's really, really good. Pacheco also should be back for this game for you fantasy managers. The Chargers travel to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. The Falcons coming off of their bye week. The Chargers coming off of a Monday Night Football loss to Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. The truth of this is I do think the Chargers are the much better team. You could see here, on ESPN bet, Chargers -1.5. Personally, it opened at that, and then it's been bet to 2.5. Okay, I like that. Even at 2.5, though, I'm still going with the Chargers here. The Falcons' offense has really just hit up kind of a brick wall, and it's because defensive coordinators have smartened up to what kinds of looks are generating what kind of plays. When Kirk's under center, it's a run 90% of the time. They don't really run a lot under center, but it's because he doesn't have the foot speed to do play action at 36 years old, coming off a torn Achilles. You can pretty much tell if it's an outside zone run or an inside zone run just based on where the running back's standing. There's not a lot of creativity to this offense based on the limitations of Kirk Cousins. And for the Chargers, their defense has been really stout all year. Going into Monday Night Football, they were averaging giving up 2 touchdowns a game, only 14 points. So I expect them to get back to their ways with Jesse Minter. I think they have a really good defensive day. Justin Herbert should be able to move the ball against this Falcons defense. They can't generate a pass rush to save their life. J.K. Dobbins going to be out for this game, but I don't think it matters too much in the scheme of this game. Give me the Chargers to pick up the win here, 27-14. I think that maybe Kirk gets a touchdown or 2 late and, kind of at the end of the game, but the Chargers defense should stand pretty tall here. Divisional game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cincinnati Bengals. 8-3 Steelers travel to Cincinnati to take on the 4-7 Bengals. The spread is -3 for Cincinnati, started at 2.5. Early action has come in on the Bengals, and I get it. The Bengals are absolutely desperate in this spot. They essentially can't afford another loss the rest of the season at home, coming off of a bye. Can Joe Burrow get it done? The guy's got MVP level numbers. Look at this: 3,000 yards, 27 passing touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. Joe Burrow has been out of his mind this year. But the Steelers +3 feels a little trappy to me. You try not to fall into your game picks based on betting lines, but I mean, how do you not take Pittsburgh +3? They've been the better team all year. This is a pick'em show, though. Just a pick'em to win game. I have the Bengals in my frisky tier. I have the Steelers in my Super Bowl contender tier. The Steelers also get kind of a longer week because they played on Thursday. This is so tight. This is so close for me, but I'm going to take the Steelers to win because I think TJ Watt is able to wreck this game against that Cincinnati offensive line. In a way, I'll be rooting for the Bengals because I just think the playoffs would be way more fun if they snuck in as the 7th seed, but give me Pittsburgh to win this game. Cardinals versus Vikings. 6-5 Cardinals travel to Minnesota to take on the 9-2 Vikings. Everything we said about the NFC North, again, every game is must win. Every game is must win if you are one of those top 3 teams in the NFC North. And for Arizona, the loss to Seattle, they play Seattle again next week. So, you know, they could get right back on top of that division, especially if they get a win here. But I just can't predict it right now with what I saw from that Cardinals offense last week and what I know to be true about this Minnesota defense. I have to lean with the Vikings in this spot. I think Sam Darnold and Jefferson and Addison and Hawkinson and Aaron Jones, like the Cardinals defense has been decent. It's been middle of the pack, but I think the talent discrepancy is so much in favor of Minnesota. Give me the Vikings to win this game. Something of the score 24-20. I think it's close, but I think the Vikings edge them out on offensive talent. Colts versus the Patriots. The Colts look to keep their season alive. The Patriots look to see more and more out of Drake May each and every week. I actually think Drake May might have a good game against this Colts defense, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. I think the Colts are actually playing for something. The Colts still believe they could win out and get in the playoffs. Anthony Richardson should have a decent day against this Patriots defense that hasn't quite lived up to their moniker this year. Jonathan Taylor should be able to run. Ultimately, I think the Colts are just a little bit better of a team overall, and that's going to reflect in the score of this game. Give me the Colts to win this game by a score of 27-20 in Foxborough. The Seahawks versus the Jets. The Seahawks need this win to kind of keep their season alive, but I think it's important to note 1 o'clock game, Seattle to New York, one of the farthest travels you could do in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers, hearing all the chatter this week, still looking to prove something, still looking to win enough games to kind of prove like, hey, we can still be good next year. I'm going to pick the sneaky New York Jets upset victory. I know people don't see it coming. I know people say that's a bad pick. The Jets are ass. I understand. But sometimes you got to go out on a limb and make a pick. And I am doing that with the New York Jets here. The Tennessee Titans travel to Washington to take on the Commanders. And this game is all about the Commanders, man. The Cliff Kingsbury, offense has hit a wall. Can it recover? The Titans defense is actually pretty good. A 5.5 point spread. I kind of like the Titans on the point spread here, but ultimately, if you're the Commanders, you cannot lose this game. You can't go into the bye at 7-6 and on a 4-game losing streak. That would be bad. Give me the Commanders to win this game, but it's close. 21-20. Commanders win on a late game touchdown from Jaden Daniels to Zach Ertz. Book it. The Houston Texans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence may come back for this game. I don't think it really matters. The Texans have to win. They have to get up for this game. And I think the pass rush of Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter will be the reason that they do so. They should be able to just kind of hand the ball off to Joe Mixon and work through this Jaguars defense. It's so bad. The Texans, there are some real flaws on this team, but I think they can exploit Jacksonville's defense pretty easily. A game in Jacksonville, Houston should get back on track. Joe Mixon probably going to get in for 2 tubbies in this game, but give me Houston to get the win here. 30-20. The Rams look to keep their season alive, as do the Saints, in a battle at 4:05 in New Orleans. The loser of this game, I would venture to say that their season is probably over. And with that being said, I'm not going to keep you in suspense. ESPN matchup predictor could favor the Saints, but you look at the line, there's a reason it's Rams -2.5. Game where season's on the line. Am I going to go with Stafford or Derek Carr? Am I going to go with McVay or Rizzi? Like, come on. We are going with the Rams to win this game. I think that they handle business, go into New Orleans, leave with a W. Give me the Rams to win this game 28-20 in New Orleans. The Buccaneers taking on the Panthers, and I think the Buccaneers are going to be kind of sniffing like, hey, we could pass the Falcons. We could win the NFC South, and you guys know that have been on the channel for a minute. I am rolling with my guy Baker Mayfield. I think Bake Show goes on the road in Carolina. Looks pretty good in this one. Their defense is actually solid. Bucky Irving's been really good. Mike Evans should be healthy. He played last week, but he should be getting healthier as the games progress. Give me Baker and the Bucks to win this game. I think they win in dominant fashion again. Give me them to win 28-13. Go Baker, go Bucks. Big game. Battle of two MVP candidates as the Philadelphia Eagles, and Saquon Barkley travel to Baltimore to take on Lamar Jackson. Lamar leads the NFL in passing yards this year. 27 touchdowns to 3 picks. I mean, the guy is balling out. Saquon Barkley, the leading rusher, on pace to break the rushing record, 10 touchdowns this year. Derrick Henry on the other side, you can't forget about him, a potential Offensive Player of the Year candidate. This is going to be absolute fireworks. This is going to be absolutely fun. And the big keys for this game: one, how does the Ravens defense hold up against an elite offense? They looked good on Monday Night Football against the Chargers, but that's Josh Palmer and that's Quentin Johnson on the outside. The Eagles will look to have Devonta Smith and AJ Brown on the outside. So let's just be real here. How can Baltimore look against Saquon, AJ, Goddard, Smitty, and Jalen Hurts? And then the flip side, Lamar Jackson kills NFC teams, absolutely buries them into the dirt. Do the Eagles have enough on defense to slow down Lamar Jackson? I think they may be positioned to, with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis up the middle. And then on the outside, Nolan Smith will get a lot more PT with Brandon Graham and Bryce Huff missing. He's really fast. Nakobe Dean, really fast. Lamar's going to get his, but I think the Eagles might have enough to really kind of slow him down. I'm going to pick the Eagles to win this game. Going into this recording, I thought I was going to pick Baltimore. Baltimore's favored because Lamar just owns NFC teams. But I just don't trust that Ravens defense quite yet. If they win this game and the defense looks how it has over the last month or so, and like they figured it out, Baltimore's a real Super Bowl contender. But I'm going to roll with the Eagles to win as they try and play catch up to Detroit still. Give me the Birds 30-27. It's going to be close. It's going to be fun. It's going to be electric. Must watch TV. We got the Niners fighting for their season in Buffalo. Buffalo 5-0 at home this year, 9-2. They've looked like the best team in the AFC over this, season to me. But the game is projected to potentially have a ton of snow. I believe they have that listed here. Snowing. And I heard that it's supposed to be a lot. Now, obviously, weather can change. I'm recording this on Wednesday, so we'll see. But I do think a very snowy game actually helps the 49ers because they are the less talented team and they do have a good running back. Now, I'm going to pick Buffalo to win because I think that, in a snowy game, Josh Allen is the quarterback you don't want to go up against because of what he can do with his legs and what he has in his size. But the Niners are the more desperate team. That's for sure. Buffalo, though, still chasing Kansas City for that 1 seed. So still some motivation for the Bills. They're coming off of a bye. Give me Buffalo to get the win 20-13. I think weather plays a factor. I think it's a close game, but I think ultimately Josh Allen and the Bills pull it out. And then Monday Night Football, we have Jameis Winston coming off of that big win on Thursday Night Football, kind of a mini bye, traveling to Denver to take on the Broncos. Can Cleveland make Denver stumble a little bit? That'll be the question. Myles Garrett looked outstanding on Thursday Night Football. Cleveland's clearly playing, right? And we saw last year, Cleveland is a better team without Deshaun Watson. As crazy as that sounds. So they're going to be out here. I think that they'll be good, but I think that that Denver defense is just too good, right, for Jameis Winston and the Browns to really be able to consistently move the ball. I think we kind of see a little bit lower scoring of a game here, but give me the Broncos to win 17-9. I think it's a low scoring Monday Night Football game. I don't even think Cleveland gets in the end zone, but I think the Broncos squeak out the victory. But as always, those are just my predictions. Let me know yours in the comment section. Week 13, enjoy the time with your families. Appreciate you all for checking out this video. If you're not already subscribed and you love the NFL, hit that button. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.